Take a look at these two photos and consider this question. When thinking of Dubai, which of these images more closely reflects the public perception of life in Dubai? Here on the left, we have a picture of a family living a luxurious, picturesque lifestyle near the beach, while the photo on the right shows us migrant blue-collar workers toiling under the sun with very little pay, and due to the lack of protective labor laws under a system that has them trapped under their employer, they are forced to work here. Dubai has become known for its ambitious plans to attract tourists to its luxurious scenes. It is one of the most sought tourist destinations for the sake of sightseeing and work. And the College Board provided stimulus, Migrant Mother by Dorothea Lange, we clearly see a mother of 7 during the Great Depression trying to make ends meet after immigrating to the United States, carrying 3 children in search of better opportunities during the Great Depression. Much like how a majority of the population in Dubai consists of immigrants, expatriates, and tourists. According to the European University Institute, in an article written by Felipe Fargas, who has written countless articles on many of the other problems that concern the Middle East world, migrants form 88% of the UAE's resident population and up to 95% of its workforce. Not only that, but 60 to 70% of them are employed in low-income occupations. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yassine Abdel-Salam, and my research question is, how has Dubai's growing migrant population and luxury spending on tourist attractions affected its economy? And my answer is, Dubai's spending on tourism exceeds revenue generated, causing a net loss. They're using too much money to bring in these tourists into the country. According to the UAE labor law, there is no minimum salary stipulated beyond covering for basic needs. This gives employers lots of room to meddle with salaries that every single worker receives, and also Dubai has a tendency to leave these working conditions unnoticed and unchecked and unregulated. In 2013, a strike organized by a group of employees of the construction firm Arabtech, led by dozens of employees, led to them being deported and the strike being broken with support from the police, which can even hint at Dubai being colluding with these private corporations to have them to maintain this system of unequal labor laws. Here we have a graph showing the main reasons that people actually travel into Dubai. Most of the time it's for business and for meetings, conventions, corporate marketing events, and everything else listed here. It's the main way that Dubai has to bring in money is through tourism. According to Byju's.com, the kafala system is a sponsorship system that binds migrant workers to one employer, or also known as their kafil. This binding contract forces the employee into a situation where they're easily exploited. According to the Harvard International Review, the UAE has no minimum wage set for migrant workers, does not allow workers to join unions, and forces them to receive permission from their employer before changing or quitting the job. These restrictions lead to a view of the kafala system and the Emirates employment procedures as an example of modern-day slavery. For the average expatriate, it takes over 30 years of stay in the UAE to even attempt to become a naturalized citizen. This makes it very difficult for these citizens who travel into the US to actually stay in the US because they have to leave and come back to the country to renew visas. Poor tourist retention is a main problem that Dubai has if its main source of income is tourism. 30 years is required, expensive housing costs. Dubai forces visitors. Dubai focuses on luxury tourism is another reason that visitors find that staying in the city is largely unaffordable. According to Imtalak.net, in Dubai, a house costs $760,000, your average house. Compare that to the price shown on simpleshowing.com, where the average home value is $377,000 in Florida as of 2023. Despite housing prices going up by a whopping 11.8% in the previous year, this comparison is marginal. This difference is marginal. Well, what about the other sources of income? Why can't Dubai use business, tourism, and and oil in order to make its money. Well, a common misconception that you may have about Dubai is that its main source of income comes from oil, when in fact, according to CNBC International's video titled "Why is Dubai so rich?", 9% of the world's proven oil resources are all located in Abu Dhabi, not in Dubai. Not in Dubai, and that oil only accounts for a mere 1% of Dubai's of the country's GDP. There is another reason as to why Dubai must rely on tourism as its main source of revenue. Since it does not have that natural resource, it relies on bringing people into the country to bolster its economy, which does not seem to be working. If this continues, Dubai's economy is going to go on a sharp decline and recess. To bring everything back together, Dubai is spending too much money on tourism, and it's not generating a profit off of it. Poor labor laws that do not help the worker, coupled with a horrible and unjust system, have created wealth inequality that clearly shows that Dubai tends to cater to the wealthier people in their country. In the case that Dubai does attract many tourists, these tourists don't stay for very long, as most of them tend to be middle-class people or below, seeking a job, and given how Dubai does not cater to that audience, these people tend to leave the Emirates soon after they arrive. Here's my works cited. Thank you. Any questions?
Two questions for you.
Okay.
What information did you need that you weren't able to find?
I wanted to look for interviews of people who fell under the kafala system to really get their perspective on everything, but I couldn't really find anything on that, and I ended up just having to use statistical evidence for the most part.
All right, and what advice would you have for other researchers who do this topic in the future?
If you want to research this topic, it is best if you could find interviews of these people who have been afflicted by these conditions. It even made me question whether the kafala system was not just a thing in Dubai. Can you restate the question?
What advice would you have for other researchers who consider this topic?
I suggest that they find interviews of people who have been afflicted by the kafala system, as that is the main way, that is jarring evidence and gives a very grand perspective.